Matter of fact, just let them know where I'm at. And introduce yourself too.
You in Shreveport, Louisiana, you talking to Bamm. And it's on Bamm Route TV, the 411 Giant.
411 John. So, Bam, where you was born and raised at?
I was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana. But my family is from Coshada, Louisiana.
Okay. Walk me through the day you were sentenced. What went through your mind when the judge sentenced you?
When I was sentenced or when I was locked up?
When you were sentenced.
When I was sentenced, I sit there, I didn't understand the months because I had been dealing with state all my life. I had been in reform schooling going on and dealing with the state all my life. And them folks started calling out them 700 and 600 months. I'm thinking years because that's what they sentence you in the state. So I'm thinking, I said, man, that's too many years for any goddamn. I said, that don't even make no goddamn sense. I said, so I'm messed up. And folks said, well, that's month that add up to this here. This will add up to 65, and this add 60. I said, 65 years. That's still too much. That's why I was tripping on the. I still couldn't get the concept of the months. So when they sent us to Texas County, they shipped me out of the courtroom. They would not let me go back to my property. They would not. They didn't take no chance because they thought my people would break me out. They shipped me as soon as I was sentenced. The marshal took me and they took me to Texas County, and I'm up there and them dudes. Texas County is like it's a borderline there with Texas County, Arkansas, and Texas County, Texas. So a lot of dudes in there on petty stuff, for for crossing the state line, little stuff like that. So when I get there, dude like, hey man, what state you was in? Cause you in the Fed, you got to go by what state you was in. I say, player, I ain't trying to do no whole lot of hollering. Now I'm just saying you need to know. I mean, cause the people what state you in. I said, nigga, I was in a state of shock. That's what I was in. Goddamn state of shock. What you folks thought 700s and something going on? I didn't. Nah, man. Nigga, I said, man, listen, I'm not trying to holler at y'all. I said, then y'all. So I'm not. I don't. So I was messed up in the head because I've been doing time all my life in the state. And they say, hey, Richard, we'll give you 2 years. Going on, boom, okay, go. Richard, we'll give you, I took 3 years here. I took 2 years here. It always was years. So now my brain is accustomed to when you get a number on it, it's a year behind it. So when you put months on it, I don't, my brain didn't, it still wasn't accepting that there. It took time for when I had to get down there and people had to tell me like, no, the Fed do it by months. And for my brain to say, okay, it ain't as much as I thought, but it's still too much. You know what I'm saying?
So, where was you first sent to when you did your time?
They sent me for, I went through Texas County. They shipped me out of the courtroom. I went to USP Florence, which was the most maximum security that USP that they had built because they built that. They built the ADX when they built it at the same time. But Florence, all the other USPs, some of them is 6, some of them is a 7, some of them. But Florence USP was a 7.5. It was the first penitentiary that was built, first new penitentiary that was built for lockdown. See, because the federal penitentiary back in the day wasn't built for lockdown. That's why when you go to them old penitentiaries like Atlanta or Leavenworth, you'll see where slots been cut into the doors to feed you. Most of them, they turned to FCI because they never was designed for long-time lockdown. But with this new age coming in, that's the first one that was built with that. And at the time that I got there in 95, they took the record from Lewisburg. Lewisburg had 8 bodies a year. USP Florence took the record of having 12 bodies a year. And 200 assaults on the staff. What the deal used to be was, because it was such a maximum penitentiary, they was bringing high level people there who wasn't right. And in USP Florence, you had 2 weeks to come up with your PSI. I don't care if you was me, your stuff, whatever. If you didn't have your PSI in 2 weeks, your car got to run you off the yard, or we'll run your car off the yard.
So when you say it had 8 and 12 bodies, what you mean?
Oh no, okay. go about a year. Leavenworth, excuse me, I apologize. USP Lewisburg used to have the record for having the most body in the year of time, which they had 8 bodies in the year of time. Or some other penitentiary may have 4 bodies. 4 people may be killed within that year. Okay, so from the time they started counting to now, okay, Florence when they opened it up, USP Florence, it had it had 12 bodies. It succeeded Lewisburg, and so now it they call it the Alcatraz of the Rockies, and because when you like an average, that became the average. 10 people got killed this year. 12 people got killed this year. 15 got killed this year. So when they average it down, you got a 12 body penitentiary because they had to balance it out. You see what I'm saying?
So did it ever come to your mind that you would get killed in the penitentiary?
Oh, in reality, I came there. I came there to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I went to jail and I came in there, I already said, listen, some of the things that I had experienced and some of the stuff that I had suffered with my brother testifying against me and going on with the conflict it caused with me and my family, my brain, that's why I wasn't fooling with I wasn't trying to hear nothing from nobody. I wasn't trying to tell them about, hey, look at me, you can get in this program and do this here. You get in this program and do this here. I was angry, I was mad, I was hurt. And I'd rather be angry than being hurt. And I was hurt, so I was like, hey, I'm not getting out. So this is my home, and I'm gonna make it somewhere where they're gonna respect me and they're gonna stay out of my way. So I was actually looking. When me and Tex got into it, I was looking for it. He just bit. Man, I come there and going on, dude, see, but they was telling me, man, we seen your we've been watching you, cause my stuff went national. And they said, man, we've been watching y'all case, man, we going on. Man, dudes from the different leaders, G27, all them dudes said, man, we been watching your stuff and going on. All right, okay, but still I ain't trusting nobody. Cause I've been trained. So I said, okay, going on. So they already had an idea who I was. So, but I still want to show them who Bamm was, not who the bottom boy was. So we going on, I'm looking for reasons. And then the dude, Ticks, I'm sitting there, I listen to rock and roll music. So I got the TV on rock and roll music. They got me cleaning up all the job. Dude got me all the job. I just clean up a TV room. I clean up a TV room. I put everybody chairs where they supposed to be. And at 11 o'clock, they gonna watch the stories. I'm good with that. So I listened to my rock and roll until the end. So I went and cooked me some popcorn at about 10:35, and I come back in there, and the TV been changed. So I said, okay, I ain't said nothing. So I went up, I got on. I didn't tell Meatball from New Orleans. That was my dude. I didn't tell him nothing because I'm my own man. I go in there, I wait till they all line up in there, and they go in there watch the stories. I go in there. When I come in, I put my knife on, I go in there, I walk up and cut the TV out. Hey, what's going on with you? I said, listen here, man, let me tell you, let me say this. I come here and I respect y'all. I clean this place. I put y'all chairs in every spot they supposed to be in. I ain't never disrespect y'all. Y'all gonna respect me. I said, I watch this rock and roll until 11 o'clock and then I put it on the stories and y'all watch. I said, somebody come in here and change that channel while I was going getting popcorn. And that was boss, Robert Mill. That was from San Diego, California. He's a blood from San. And he said, no, big old black dude. No, come on, man. Ain't nobody gonna, man, dude can see who he is. Ain't no, I said, listen, man, stop. He said, people can see who he is, man. Come on, ain't nobody. We thought a white boy had came here and changed that channel. That's why somebody said. So I said, okay, that makes sense. I said, okay, my apologies. But I'm saying I got to be respected, but I got to be killed. It can't be no charge. I'm a little dude. I can't wait. Y'all to make no move on me. I got to make my move first. So by then, everything good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to walk on my hill. Then I hear somebody say, lay down, everybody. I want every motherfucker laying down right now. I said, I'm like, what's going on now? Lay down, homie, where you at? I said, who that? Brown, nigga, this meatball. What's going on? That nigga meatball had everybody laid down in the TV room. Yeah, he had everybody laid down on the TV. And I heard him tell me, I told you don't move. I said, no, it was a little misunderstanding. He said, well, bag up, I need to see you. Bag up out there. Man, I unlocked the door and bag up out there. And he back, I need to lay eyes on you. What's up? What we gonna do? I said, man, dude, it was a misunderstanding. Cause he was going a little too fast for me. I said, it was a little misunderstanding, dude. They had changed the channel going on like, say, what you wanna do? Huh? What we gonna do? And he hollered at some nigga rolled through the window. I said, lay down. That nigga laid down. That nigga meatball was eating true. So I said, man, it's up to you, man, cause I got you in this here. I said, it's up to you. You want to do it? We want to finish him out or what? So whatever with you, Ryan, what you would. I said, man, it was on the mistake. They wasn't going on. All right, then we bagged on out and going on, man. That's all going. That's when I fell in love with him. I said, boy, that nigga, cause I used to tell him don't play game with me, man. That son gonna came over there. They scared to death of me, ball. That son going there, man. He about his business. But anyway.
So wait, you made Blabber say history by being in shackles for 40 days.
I was in shackles for 40 days, but they only give me credit. My lawsuit only give me credit for 28 days. And the reason for this is I've been in the federal system. I stabbed a lot of people. I stabbed officers, inmates, everything. Never been in restraints. They show you where their importance is put in. They was never put in restraint, but they was putting people in restraints for oppression to make them be subjected to stuff. Plus, they needed a certain, I used to read all this stuff. So the police, they have a certain amount of time before the physical year. See, people think the end of the year. Civilians say end of the year is December. Not when you got a business or got something. Your physical year may be like July. In July, they got to use all their equipment. They got to do this. If they can't exalt their budget within that time, then they're not going to get that funding, that same budget. So the police will go around and actually pick, like when they come to that certain time, now they ready to gas you, because they ready to expend the show that they need to use this stuff. So they bring a dude to, I had already told them, my homeboys, I said, listen, we're not jumping on nobody for the police. We're not doing none of that. If you don't want to sell in there, don't accept it. We ain't gonna play that game. We ain't gonna do that. Cause they'll put a dude in there with you. Now if you give us a free body, it's cool. But they'll put a dude in there with you, and when you kill him, now you facing a life sentence.
What you mean when they put somebody there with you?
They had 5 dudes got killed when I was in the special management unit. That's where my lawsuit come from. They put a dude in there. Say for instance, the dude is a dropout from Serennials. Mm-hmm. So now, if you're a dropout from the Serennials, you know that there's a hit on you, because when you dropped out, you had to debrief. They'll take a 19-year-old, 20-year-old dropout from the Serennials and put him in the cell with a 65-year-old shot caller of the Serennials. This man is 65-year-old Serrano, which means he is part of the hit that's been put on you. So what did the young dude do? They beat him to death. They beat him to death in cuffs and everything. I seen 3 of these situations happen. Right there, 5 people was killed when I was there in a year. So I told my homeboys, I told the warden, I told all of them. Me and my homeboys, we held the red cage. Some of the dudes from DC held it with me. We held the red cage. We said, listen, put my homeboys on the tip. We don't want no single cell. but you're gonna give them enough time for us to put somebody in there with them. Put somebody on the cell, let them talk to them a while. If they blend, then we'll put them in there. But if y'all put somebody in there and they hurt my people, we gonna start trying to hurt your people. Me and the warden had a good deal. Warden had a good deal. They shipped the warden out. When they shipped that warden out, new warden come. So the warden come through. He said, "Well, I got all these cells, one people in these cells here going on. What if a bus come in right now?" So the captain was trying to tell him, Captain Trait, trying to tell him, well, Bamm, he from the South. He got to make sure, let them get accustomed going on. They get accustomed, they gonna move in there. He don't run my plantation. So boom, when he did that, they started trying to force people in. So we went out there. We had the red cages. We had a red cage. They gassed us. Upstairs, came out. They had the red cages from the south. They gassed. They gassing. Finally, after they kept gassing her, he come down there and said, "Well, let's talk." I said, we listening. He said, I said, man, listen. You hurt my people. I'm trying to hurt your people. Simple as that. I said, you want me to be, you get mad when somebody hurt one of your officers, but I ain't supposed to feel nothing when you hurt one of my homeboys. I said, I'm not no animal, man. I'm a man. So boom, we's back to level. So the AW, well, now he was a captain. Hudson was a captain in Marion when the white guy made the move against the GD dude, and I ended up punishing him. And everybody thought I was a GD. I'm not no GD, but the guy was not supposed to make the move because we had said everything was squashed. So now that captain come down there, and he sit there with the used to be captain. Hudson, he was an AW down there. So he come there, and the counselor, my counselor tell me, who used to be at SIS, he said, Bamm, they want to put this crazy dude in the cell with you. He said, I'm not going to be a part of it. He said, so Monday or Tuesday will be the time they try to bring that man in here because they're my off day. He said, because I'm not going to sign off on it. So they got this dude named Prophet. He was crazy. Well, what they used to do is not give him his medication. They'll put him in the cell with you and not give him his medication. And then he cut a dude eye out, cut dude's ear out, and going on then. So finally, after he did that 3 or 4 times, dude didn't give him no chance. So dude started just, when they put him in there, dude just started punishing him. And I used to tell my homeboy, I said, no, we don't hurt no mental people. The man is a mental patient. They not getting his medicine. I said, we don't do that. Children, mental patients, and old people, we don't in handicap, we don't do that. So we wouldn't accept him. So they bring him to my cell, and I tell him, I said, look, man, I said, I ain't got no problem with you, brother, and going on. I said, but I'm not accepting you in here because I'm not gonna hurt you, and I ain't gonna let you hurt me. So he just standing there rocking back and forth. The Lieutenant Fleming, he was already mad at me because I set him out on the till. Because he was one of the Colorado Cowboys that was jumping on all the folks and stomping their head out. And then one day he come down the till and he was saying something slick. And I said, well, you got that immunity because you testified against your people when I was up in Colorado when you did that. I said, so you acting tough because you got immunity for being a rat. And so he sit there, and so me and him, we started beefing. A little bit of something, then he had his daughter working there. So anyway, he come to the cell, and he wanted to force the dude. And I said, man, I'm not going against my principle. I said, I'm willing to die for my principles. So dude, boom, they walked off. They walked off with the dude. They walked off, they come back. They come down there, they came back and they team me, they shot me up, they going on. We touched a little bit, they going on. They put me in restraints. I was in restraints. My lawsuit says I was in restraint for 28 days. I was in restraint for 40 days. I was in restraint for 28 days. They had me in restraint for 28 days. Serranios, a Native American, all the people, they start after 28 days, they contacted. I was in restraints. I couldn't do nothing. They contacted the Lewisburg Prison Project. They said, look here. They got this little dude in here, Bamm, Sebastian Richardson. They said, I was in marrying with this dude. They say, hey, man, this dude been trying to, he helped everybody and everything. He done disappeared. We ain't seen him in 28 days. We scared these folks maybe done killed him going on. The folks said they had lost so much money dealing with the inmates because soon as they get the inmates going on a lawsuit, the folks come offer him something, and then they accept it, and they all their money that they spend it is say they said they them brokers. We don't really got the money. They said everybody told them. They said they never had this many people from every nationality, every geographical place sit there and send them a letter about one inmate. And they said when they asked the dude t0rtured, he was a Spanish dude. He was out of I think he wasn't out of Mexico, Arizona. And t0rtured told him, said, listen, I was in Maryland with that little dude. He said, man, that dude there, they ain't gonna break this one. And the dude said they took it. They said they ain't had enough. They said, Mr. Sprout, David Sprout, he said they took that. So when they took that and they come try to see me, the folk wouldn't let them see me. So they went to the governor of Pennsylvania. And the governor of Pennsylvania, after 28 days, sent his assistant down there and told them they need to see me. So they came. It come to, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know all this was going on because I've been restrained for 28 days. I've been in belly chains and my leg chains. Well, I can kind of walk around the cell, but I'm locked up. All of a sudden they come in, they walked in to check my restraints. They started checking my restraint. Then they started wrestling. God, they started wrestling. He resisting. He resisting. I know the game, but I don't know why. So now they put me in 4 points. So I'm in 4 points. They come back and I found out later they go tell my lawyer then, because they took the case without even talking to me. They tell my lawyer that I assaulted the officer when they was trying to take me out of restraint, so therefore they couldn't bring me down there. So now my lawyers go back, Mr. Sprout and Jennifer Tobin. They go back and you look at the paperwork, you see they go back and talk to them. They say, hey, look here, hey, that ain't right. They going on this, but so now they come back. They come back 12 days later. When they come in there and wrestle me down, they put me in 4 points. So they put me in 4 points. Now I'm in 4 points for the next 12 days. And when the next 12 days, they got the window open on me. It's in Lewisburg, and so it's cold, it's freezing. They got a door open on me. I'm pissing on myself. They won't let me use the bathroom. I won't eat nothing. I lost 38 pounds in a month's time. I won't eat nothing because they ain't gonna let me use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Only time I'm gonna get to use they'll stick the pot under me is if when the warden come through and the warden said, you got any complaints? I say, they ain't let me use the bathroom and going on blah, blah, blah. So they have to do it right there in front of him. So now they take me and they put it, and I get a chance to use the bathroom. So that's why I couldn't eat no food because of that. So now when they come down there, look at it.
So hold up. So when you use the bathroom, how you clean yourself?
You can't. They got to. Man, you smelling shit for the next week.
So man, they treat you like an animal. They let you just do them and that's it.
Man, and they want you to piss on yourself because they got the window open and going on. So that's why I didn't drink water. The son gun took me water when the nurse told him, said he got to hydrate. They said he ain't drinking no water. He got to hydrate because I didn't drink no water because they were giving me water. The lieutenant said, hey, Gardner, especially the dirtiest dude I ever met in life. He chipped my teeth when I told him he liked that dude Percy off of Green Mile. I said, yeah, you a tough dude, long as you got your stick, but when somebody grab you, you gonna wee on yourself. Boy, look at all his men started laughing. That's all gonna hit me in the mouth with the radio, chip my teeth. Yeah, chip my teeth. Hit me in the mouth with the radio. But all these people laughing and going on. But anyway, long story short, you gonna urinate on yourself, they going on to like water, but they kept complaining. The nurse said, hey, now he need to drink some water. So they was talking about putting the IV on me, and I'm still scared of needles at it. They talking putting the IV on me, and she told me he got the hydrating going on. So the gardener, the dirty one, so he said, well, we can't find, it's cups right there. We can't find no cups. So they get the cups, they get bowl. They just give me one of them bowls. They put the water in the bowl, and I'm stupid enough. And I didn't realize by me laying flat on the ground, when they put the water on the bowl, water going all in my nose. So it's waterboarding me. So I'm getting the cup going on. So now I had to I refused water. I kept refusing water and going on because the water goes when he used the bowl. You had to find a good lieutenant a tenor who just doing his job, like Lieutenant Bernard, like that there. You catch Lieutenant Bernard, Lieutenant Hooper, one that just doing their job. That's when you say, hey, Lieutenant, I ain't used the bathroom in a while. Lieutenant Hooper will take one. He'll take one thing out, and then you can start up and he'll stick the bowl up on you. He do his job. He ain't one of them dirty ones. Lieutenant Bernard was the same way. So it depends if they say if you ask one of the police and say who the lieutenant on the shift this week? Well Gardner got it to next 4 days. He on 4 and off too. Then you know don't eat nothing. Don't eat nothing cause Gardner ain't gonna let you. He ain't gonna let you. And he's a little rat face or something. You know what I'm saying? Who testified against the Colorado Cowboys. If you look in the case, he testified against the Colorado Cowboys when they were stomping the people and kicking their nuts off. He one of the ones who testified and got immunity.
Oh wow.
I was up there in Colorado when they did that. See, that's why I knew that he was part of it. Him, Lieutenant Wade, or I forgot the girl name, the Spanish girl, cause she the one that used to take the dudes who like to jack off on the women. They used to take her in there. She testified against them. They used to take her and Lieutenant King. They used to take her up there, take the dudes who jack off. They'd open up their legs, and then let her stomp their nuts. She just stomped their nuts, and she testified against them. Lieutenant Wade testified against them. Go look up the Colorado Cowboys. Look at it, and I think they was sentenced and they was indicted in like 90. They was in 95 when they were doing that, but they was indicted. But it's in the news. They was indicted or sentenced or got their sentencing in 2000.
Wow, man, that's crazy. And when you went home, where you went home from?
I went home from Supermax ADX. I didn't go from there because Supermax ADX do not have a release program. What they did was they put me in a step down for a week, and then the night before I got shipped, they shipped me over. The night before I got out, they shipped me over to the USP Florence and kept me in the hole, and I discharged from the hole at USP Florence.
Who were you in Supermax with?
I was in Supermax with Larry Hoover, King Blood. Larry Hoover being the leader of the GDs. King Blood being the Latin King Blood leader. Louis Felipe, I think his name. I'm not sure. Jeff Ford, the leader of the Air Rookins and the Black Peace Stone Rangers. Me and Malik, we call him Malik. Me and him was tight. Then you had Wayne Perry, which are known from DC. And going on, you had the Unabomber, which died while I was there, Ted Kaczynski. You had the Olympic Bomber, which was Eric Rudolph, which was in the cell next to me, crying like a baby over his foot hurting. Then you had the Nathaniels. You had Silverstein. If you look Silverstein up, he's the longest man ever to be held in solitary confinement, 40 years. I was around every bomber. I was, unfortunately, Woody Harrison, daddy had died before I got there. I had met him at the FCI Medical Center. But it's something I'm missing too. It was so. I mean, it was just everybody who was the worst of the worst. They could not. And then when El Chapo came down there, like a few months before about almost 8 months before I left, they kicked us out of E unit with the double cause I'm SAMS, I'm high max, SAMS Special Administrative Management, which means I have to be behind 2 doors. So what they did, they took the whole SAMS unit, that whole 12 people, 12, 24, 48 people, and they kicked everybody out there and put us behind 1 door. We were laughing like cheers. God dog, we ain't got but 1 door now. You know, everybody trying to figure out how to get out of it. So they move us there, and we tripping now. Why? So you had Rock from Dead Man Incorporated. With me and him was cool. So Rock was good. They had him going over there working. They had him and a couple more other dudes being trustees. And Rock was coming back letting us know, man, they digging up the whole foundation. They digging up this, man. They finna. So we thought, because you know you had to talk with sign language down there when they put you on the inside, so everybody knew sign language. So we thought they were putting microphones in there. So the people would say, we would all would say, listen, when you go back, talk with nothing but sign language because they're going to have the microphone. Anybody talk about anything over the till that's dry ratting. And that's what we had said. And then we found out later that Gooseman was going there. And at that time, we like, who the hell is Gooseman? They said, they putting him in the whole thing, then that's El Chapo. You know what I'm saying? So they took El Chapo and they redid that whole thing, reinforced it, and they got that man on a whole till that 48 people supposed to be on.
So he got the whole till.
He got the whole E. He got the whole E.
So he got a little apartment.
Yeah, but he's when I seen him, man, this another part to this. When I seen him, when they put me in the step down unit before you could see E unit, and his general, I got the card with his general. They made it for me, and they signed it for me. And the General Freddie was trying to get us to knock on the thing and contact him, let him, tell him something. But he didn't know sign language. So we couldn't. So we knocked on the thing, he looked over there, but he spent his time looking up. People thought he was going crazy. I thought he was trying to figure out a way to get out of there. Cause he was always just looking up and looking at the wall. Cause you got you surrounded by walls, you got the ball wall up there on top of it. He was always just in that corner looking up. So I was thinking maybe he seen something, but he was in that corner looking up. So we told Freddie we trying to get at him. He don't respond. So then the police started hearing us knocking. So what they started doing is they wouldn't bring him out while we was in. They would wait till we come out on that side. Then that's when they started doing his Rick, so that we couldn't be trying to get his attention. But
How much time did you do?
I did 27 years and I think about 5 or 6 months. I call it, I think I said 9,900 and probably 96 days.
27 and a half years. How long have you been home now?
I've been home 3 years and about 7 months.
3 years, 7 months. How I feel to be free?
It's like a mix. It feels good to be free, but it feels bad not to be comfortable. See, because I had found myself of a comfortability in jail. I knew how to manage it. I knew how to deal with it. I knew what to expect every day. Out here, I don't. I don't know how to work phones. I don't know how to do nothing. Everybody out here, if they 3 years old, smarter than me, and dealing with situations, I don't like being behind a ball like that where I have to depend on other people, and that puts me at a place where, in some time when they get to, and my latest thing been dying. I tell you this about jail, unless you kill somebody, don't a lot of people die around you. In this last week and something, I done had 7 homeboys die, and then they don't die. These people ain't died from nobody shooting them or whatever. They died from natural causes. So this, it kind of mess you up. You don't see that much death there. Last person I seen to die was Silverstein. I didn't see that. I heard die was Silverstein. But now you come out here and life is more closer now. When they call me and say, hey, well, such and such died. Okay, that was distant. All right, okay, I hear you. But when you out here, that's why I told him, I said, man, I can't go no more funerals. The funeral's killing me.
The funerals, huh? So you come home, you started your, what's the name of your podcast?
My podcast is BXBZ, but Bamm Raw TV is the actual podcast. But go to YouTube, BXBZ. You know what I'm saying? And I'm giving to him. I got letters right now from Wayne Perry, the Nathaniel's Skip. His niece just sent me a letter. He talking about me and she said he love you, man. He said you the solid ever. I got letters from Wayne Perry saying the same thing, man. He said you the solid. I always believe I thought my enemies. I always thought my enemy was incarceration. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that y'all got me for some stuff, but y'all ain't got me for what y'all say y'all did, and the evidence didn't pan out. So I feel like I was unrightfully, if you'd gave me 15 years for the list stuff you had or something like that, but when you started talking about 65 and this and that going on, I felt like you was overextending yourself on being just, and I didn't accept it. I didn't accept it. So I went in there. That's why I never made penitentiary my home. I never made the federal penitentiary. I never had nothing on my wall. I never had no picture on my wall, no nothing. I always considered myself a captive.
All right, look, before we get out, you got any shout outs you want to give?
Oh man, I got a bunch of shout outs. Hold on, let me pull out my list.
Yeah.
I want to send shout out to Big Papa, naturally, our local man. I want to send out to Hot Boy Gator. I want to send out to P Wizzy. You know what I'm saying? I want to send out to all the people who trying to take some of the energy that they got and put it into something positive. Because I would not recommend giving up your freedom for anything less than something that you have to. I say I would not recommend it to nobody. People sit there and they talk and they say, you scared of penitentiary. I ain't scared of penitentiary. I broke penitentiary. Penitentiary didn't break me. But when something don't make sense, man, you have to realize, do it make sense to do this here? You do say they get money, but they do more killing than they do getting money. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, them two things don't come together. They don't come together. When you sitting here, you drawing attention to yourself with this senseless stuff. You ain't getting money because ain't nobody gonna do nothing but replace you. They gonna lock you up and they gonna replace you. So I'm not an advocate of being a gangster and being dangerous no more. I'm more an advocate of being an entrepreneur and getting your money how you get it. I can't tell you how to get it, but I'm gonna tell you use your senses when you get it. Look at what works and what don't work. All these people, you got these people, they wait till they get rich to do something crazy. You sitting there, you got a successful record out, you got all this shit doing, then you go do some crazy stuff trying to be a gangster. Gangsters don't try to be gangster. They do what they have to do. And when they learn better, they do better. Why I'm sitting here and wait till I get $1 million to kill myself, or wait till I get $1 million to send myself to jail. That's the reason I'm out here, to get some money to take care of my people. I got the money to take care of my people. Now I'm gonna take myself away from them. I'm gonna take myself out of the equation. That's a backward thing. And every animal, everything that God, and I'm gonna say this here, man, and this ain't, people can say it's anti-racist or whatever. Everything that God has created, from the germ that's in your body, the code that's in your body, when you getting rid of that cold with your medication or whatever, and that cold down to its last, and it's finna be expelled out your body, that's when that cold is the strongest, because you gotta find another host. If a dude cough in your face when he almost through with a cold, it's 100 times more powerful because it's trying to live. Everything that God done created trying to live except the black man. That I don't understand.
All right, tell them all the channels how they can contact you with all your.
Well, you can get on Bamm Bamm Raw TV, but go to my YouTube BXBZ. Go to my YouTube BXBZ, and then you go to Bamm Bamm Raw TV. I'm selling my BXBZ gear. I got a book called Am I a Monster? You can find that on Amazon. And if you can't, then you get at me on Bamm Bamm Raw TV. Get at me. I ain't gonna steal nobody's phrase, but if you answer me, I answer right back.
Mr. Answer Right Back. Wow, we out, y'all.
This is Terrance Williams, a.k.a. OG Giggity, a.k.a. Mr. Answer Right Back, a.k.a. the People Champ, Terrance Williams.